York's classic rock. Q1043.
Q104.3. It's 8:06. We are so lucky. Caroline's is so lucky. Caroline's has been booking big name talent. You know, after we've gone through this period where the world has just been turned upside down and everything was locked up and closed for so long, and now things are open and running again, and Caroline's is bringing in the heavy hitters. And tonight and tomorrow night, it's Jeff Garlin at Caroline's, and we're lucky enough to have him here.
Yes.
And we love him, and he is just an incredible talent. I mean, he writes...
I am an incredible talent.
He writes...
You listen to Jim Kerr. I am an incredible talent.
Well, you write, you produce, you direct, you act, you do stand-up comedy. I mean, you do all
Look
those
at me.
things.
I am so talented.
You are.
You are.
I can't ever think like that.
But you are.
It's very kind.
But you
Thank
are.
you. Thank you.
You are, and you're on.
I will acknowledge that I'm successful.
And you star on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
No, Larry David stars. I'm just there to support him.
Okay, well, you are one of the supporting cast of Larry David's fantastic Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And screw the Goldbergs.
Oh, no, I got to hear the Goldberg story.
There is no story.
There's no story?
No story. I wanted to... Look, I was working on Curb at the same time as the Goldbergs, and I was a curmudgeon about it. What I mean is, I come from this joyous, creative place to this place where, anyhow, as time went on, so I left.
It was your decision?
It was a combo. They didn't have... Basically, I see there's so much to it, but not much to it. But no, I just wanted to get the hell out of there.
You weren't canceled?
No.
Wow.
What? Here's the thing. I'm still filming Curb Your Enthusiasm. I just did a show called Never Have I Ever. Basically, there was an attempted assassination on my life, character assassination. But that was it. It was character assassination. It wasn't that I'm lecherous or I did inappropriate things, because that didn't,
Well, you're a comedian. You say funny things.
Well, by the way, that's the world we live in.
That's such a terrible thing, because that story got out.
And in today's,
okay.
And in today's world, some comedy can get your butt in trouble.
Right.
By the way, you say that. It's never. Well, it's not stand-up.
Bill Maher has been very vocal on this subject. Bill Maher has been saying there's a war on comedy.
Well, what they've done is they've taken the joy out of sets. And you essentially, except when the cameras are rolling, work at an insurance company. And that's not even a slight exaggeration. So, yeah, they didn't like my songs and my sayings. Like, I'd sing a song about my grandma's balls, and this is true. And they'd say, you can't do that. And I'd say, why? They'd go, grandmas don't have balls, and that could be activating for someone. That's verbatim. No, I know. I see your face over there.
My mouth fell open.
No,
that could be activating for someone.
The point is, it got to be a drag for me, and I'm like, why am I on this show? It's not joyous. It's not creative. I got to get out of here.
Because you are the show, and we love you on the Goldbergs.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it's not going to last long now anyway.
Well, I wish them well.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
I do. I wish them well.
I'm just telling you, they killed off a character that everybody loves. I mean, generally speaking, that's not a good...
I know shows don't generally do well, but... I don't know.
But you're a funny guy.
You know what? That I'll acknowledge. I am a funny guy to some.
Okay, but that's true of anyone who's funny.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen really funny people tell a joke or a funny story that I didn't get.
Right.
I mean, I don't get everything, but that doesn't mean that I'm unaware that they're funny.
But my feeling is, if you don't get it, it's not funny.
What, if just one person doesn't get it?
No, you.
Oh, me.
You, Jim Kerr.
You are the tastemaker of comedy.
Oh, come on.
You're the king. You're the kingmaker. When I leave here, I will be a king, because you let me know I'm immensely talented.
You are immensely talented.
You are.
No, but in all sincerity, I don't believe the hype. I know, I acknowledge that I'm successful. I know that I'm funny, but outside of that, and any compliment, I say thank you, because why waste your time going? No. But nonetheless, I can't think. I'm just a guy who likes naps.
Well, so there's the one thing that he and I have in common.
Yeah, there's that.
There's that. Now, on Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yes.
I'm told, I've read that cast members have a great deal of input into the performances that we
It's
see on
not
TV.
input. It's Larry David writes an outline, and we make it up every scene. Like I go into a scene knowing what has to happen in that scene.
Uh-huh.
So however we get there, and then Larry, myself, and a guy named Jeff Schaefer, there's a few other people, but we meet up after every take and discuss it because I'm one of the producers, and so is Jeff Schaefer and obviously Larry David. So we adjust, but nobody, everyone's improvising. Like I'll ask, when there's somebody who's famous and I think would be great for the show in a certain role, I always talk to them and I'm like, can you improvise? And they'll say yes, and some people say, no, I can't. And I say, okay, cool,
Well, I know there are some people who are extraordinarily talented actors who can pick up the script
Yeah.
and who can get into the character and make it believable and just be awesome, but who go blank if they have to make it up
Well,
themselves.
by the way, I worked with someone like that who I admired on the Goldbergs. And if I wanted to improvise, he would have none of it. None of it. But I respected that. So when I'm in scenes with him, it was George Segal. He's
He's a great actor.
It was a great actor.
Well, I mean, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, and one of my heroes, but I soon discovered very specific in his approach. And being George Segal, I deferred to him.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about me in the scene. It was about the scene, and I wanted him to be happy about it.
It just strikes me as being such an exciting atmosphere if you're going in with an outline and you're making it up as you go
Well,
along.
it's so creative. Like I said, I was working on that, and the same week I'd be working on the Goldbergs. So I had such anger and resentment. I wasn't fun, except when I sang songs about my grandma's balls. And so that's, the creativity of Curb Your Enthusiasm is extraordinary. Years ago, Larry David said to me, you'll never have as much fun as this, ever. And he's right. I can try and recapture it on my own. I'm doing some improvisational movies, the one I'm developing right now, with the same type of format as Curb. And I know I'll have a blast, but not like I have on Curb Your Enthusiasm, because I get to work with a genius. And and all the cast members truly love each other. We're all close friends. And there's not one outsider. And if there's somebody, the crew is so delightful. And in the past, if someone's an asshole,
Whoa!
Oh, shit.
You went there.
I did it without thinking. And by the way, for you listeners, it wasn't that bad. But for radio, it's not acceptable.
Well, we don't want to get fired or pay the fine.
Right.
The
right.
fine is what you don't want.
Yes.
So a big fine.
And iHeart, if they fire you, I'll make a comment because I just signed a deal with iHeart.
You did.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, welcome
You'd think that they would tell you that ahead of time.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Thank you. Susie Essman and I are doing the history of Curb.
How awesome is that?
Episode by episode. And Susie and I have decided to start recording it on the Curb set at lunch. We will do an episode. And that way, Larry, anyone who's walking by, we can say hello. They can talk. Well, what are you doing? He's actually very excited about it.
That sounds really cool.
I
Jeff
love
Garlin
it.
is with us. We'll be back.
We will be
Yeah,
back.
we'll be back.
By the way, a couple thoughts. First off, Pleasant Valley, I went there. It was pleasant. Was it great? Would I want to go back right away? No. Was it bad? No. It was pleasant. Now, the other thing is, I have the DraftKings app on my phone. I don't participate. I don't open it, but I show people and I brag. Look at me. I've got the DraftKings app. All right, those were two thoughts.
It's Jeff Garlin, and this is the shameless plug portion.
Well, of Caroline's?
Of the program.
By the way, this is a charity thing I'm doing.
It's a charity thing?
It is?
For Caroline's. I'm working for free. I'm being totally serious. I'm doing a bunch of clubs over the next year or so where I work for free. I pay for the travel of my own travel and hotel, the travel and hotel for my opening act. They'll get paid by the club, but I'm working for free because all these clubs suffered during the pandemic. And Caroline's is very important to me. It's personal, it means a lot. And they've been so supportive for so many years, like 30 years to me. So,
and other members of your community.
All members of my community. I have never heard an ill word about Caroline's ever. Most clubs you hear something, not Caroline's. So I love them. So I'm working for free tonight and tomorrow, and I flew in just to do this.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And you should hear the harrowing story Jeff had with his flight, like everybody else. This is another reason to love Jeff Garlin.
Yeah, and it's...
there's so many that you got to say to yourself, really? They just added another reason? Jeff Garlin with the DraftKings app?
It's tonight at 7 o'clock, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Go early and have dinner. The food is good.
The food's great
Yes.
at Caroline's. Yes,
it is.
There's a handful of, like the Comedy Store in L.A. They have whatever they can, whatever they can throw in the fryer is what they serve. Fries, shrimp, onion rings. So when I see someone eating at the Comedy Store, I think, you have no self-respect. You don't respect yourself by eating that crap. I said crap.
Yeah, crap's
You're
okay.
allowed to say crap.
No, I know.
But at Caroline's, they have quite
great food.
Yeah, they have very
They
good
do.
food at Caroline's.
Yeah.
For tickets, visit carolines.com. So once again, that's tonight at 7, tomorrow night at 7. That is, nobody told me you were working for free.
That's
That is
amazing.
really
Well, it's not something,
awesome.
You're bringing up the thing, so I wanted to make a point. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
and your stand-up special, Our Man in Chicago, is still streaming on Netflix, right?
they're not going to stop it at any point. Netflix, you do a special, and they have it on the front page for like a week, and then it's dead. Then it just streams, and you hope somebody goes, I wonder what Jeff Garlin's up to, and they do a search for Jeff Garlin. I have my special, and I have my Netflix mystery movie, which was called, it still is called Handsome. So those are my projects on the magic of Netflix.
You also do voices for animated films.
Yes.
Is that fun for you? Do you like it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my favorite thing that I've ever done in my career was the movie WALL-E. I was the captain of the ship.
Great movie.
Yeah, that movie. By the way, when I was working on it, I saw nothing. I knew nothing. I was just I did my imagination. I worked in my imagination based on what the director said to me was going on in that scene, and that's how I played it. When I went to a screening of it, having never seen anything, it's a Picture screening, I started to cry.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I was in something this beautiful. And it was so moving for me. And so the thing I'm most proud of in my career, believe it or not, is WALL-E. And I was in Toy Story 3 and 4 as Buttercup the Unicorn. I was in one of the Cars movies. There's this great company called Leica. Like, I'll never do a cheap, I don't care how much money you pay me. I'm not doing some cheap bull crap, animated movie, because I've worked with Pixar, and I did this movie with Paranorman, called Paranorman, with this company called Leica. It basically, it's all just, it's delightful.
I mean, I'm just blown away by the, artistry when you go see a really great animated film.
But especially when you didn't even know, like, the whole story.
I knew nothing.
And
I
what
was
a
just fed.
story.
Yes, I couldn't define dancing. It's just this moment, they're dancing in space. Yeah, I was just so moved by it.
Yeah.
And then I have this big heroic moment. So it's really funny when they brought me in, they actually flew me in to sell me on it when the answer was already yes. and then they showed me what the character was going to look like. That's all I saw, and I went, "Oh, yeah, fat guy in a chair. Yeah, that's me. Let's go."
It's Jeff Garlin tonight, tomorrow night, 7:00, Caroline's. That's, of course, on Broadway between 49th and 50th Streets in the Times Square area in Manhattan. And, whoa, I'm blown away, so I'm going to have to tell you again, even though Jeff just told us, because he wants to be supportive of these clubs that suffered so much during the pandemic when they were unable to operate. He's going around the country at his own expense, performing in these places for free, including Caroline's tonight.
And by the way, I'm happy to do it.
And by the way, are you aware that you're like this extraordinary talent that you write, you produce, and you direct, and you act, and you perform stand-up comedy?
I do all those things.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm an extraordinary talent, but thank you, Jim. But, yeah, I do all those things.
Yes, Jeff Garlin, thank you so much for hanging out with us
By the
this
way,
morning.
this is the only show I'm doing. My assistant said to me, Jim Kerr, and I go, that dude has been so supportive of me all these years, and I have a good time. I'm in. It's because, I just was like, wow, I'm not doing it. Literally, right now, I'm leaving, and then I'm done with my press. I'm not even slightly exaggerating. And I always wanted to do this, meaning I always wanted to be at a place in my life where I could go, yeah, I'll do one show.
Well, we're
That's
glad
it.
you chose
We are
ours.
very honored.
I did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're glad you chose ours. And once again, welcome to the iHeart Radio family.
Yeah,
with your new
Susie
podcast.
and I.
And
Yeah.
what's it called again?
We don't have a name for it yet. It's the history of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's a good name, The History of Curb Your
Well, by the way,
Enthusiasm.
that is a good name.
It kind of sums it all up.
Susie and Jeff present. You always put the lady's name first. Susie and Jeff present the history of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Episode by episode, in parentheses.
Yes, episode by, and we're starting with the hour special. Excuse me. I know there's a button for that somewhere, but apparently your guests don't get a button, a cough button. But thank you, Jim. Both of you. I really, and thanks again for the coffee.
You're
Delicious.
welcome.
Oh, well,
another addict I have made.
Shelley often brags about how
But
you
she
love
should.
her coffee.
By the way, it's amazing. It's not just good. It's like, wow. And she told me ahead of time, and I'm like, all right, I'm excited. Boom.
Yeah.
Shelley, really, you are. By the way, I want to do this. Ready?
Yeah.
Shelley, that was good coffee. You have to be of a certain age to know that's basically every coffee commercial from many years ago. Someone would pick up the thing, hey, Sally, this is good coffee. And whatever actor they hired talk like that. It's good coffee.
We love having you here, Jeff.
And something that's really weird about Shelley's coffee is we've had people, celebrities on the floor who were not doing an appearance with us on our show because we have some other, iHeart facilities here. They would come over here anyway for Shelley's coffee.
Shelley, look at you. Somebody's a barista. By the way, I don't. Why don't they call the male coffees baristos?
I don't know.
Yeah, y tu barista.
Okay, it's time for the news.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.